Hello and a very warm welcome to yet another edition of The Real Talk. And I'm excited about this particular one because we're going to talk to an author. I love reading books. I don't read as much as I used to, but I do love books. And the reason I do love books, as you can see, The Path Less Traveled, a book authored by a wonderful gentleman that you're going to meet. The reason I love books is because I believe that anyone who takes their time to share their life experience through writing is someone with good intentions, someone who says, I have been through life, I have seen things, I have done things, I have made mistakes and I have learned from them, and I do not want any other person to go through that. So they share this so that you and I can read and learn from their experience. And there's a saying, it's only fools that wait to learn from their experience. My name is Jackie Lumbasi, and this is The Real Talk. My guest today is Dr. Stephen Rulisa. It is an honor for me to be holding his memoir in my hand. Dr. Stephen, thank you for honoring our invitation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jackie.
Lovely. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
The title of the book, The Path Less Traveled, From Cattle Fields to Operating Rooms. What does that mean? Were you a Herds boy?
Yes.
You were?
Yeah, it's a story of my life. I used to be a Herds boy. I was born and raised as a Herds boy. Great.
I love to start the real talk with that story. Take us back to your childhood. Who was Stephen back then before you became Dr. Stephen?
Well, I was born in in a very rural cattle keeping farms in Uganda, in western Uganda, around Barara area in Nyabushozi County. It was a vast area of cattle keepers. I was born in a rural area. I was born at home. Although I'm a doctor, I wasn't born in a hospital. So,
is it because you came in abruptly, or your mother just didn't? You know, well, our grandmothers and
there's a story inside there that I talk about it. My mother were a bit educated, and they had the promise that she would deliver in a hospital, but things happened. So my home, their home at that time, and the nearest hospital was almost 30 kilometers away. We would see cars every few weeks.
Oh, gosh.
And so getting to the hospital wasn't tough. I asked my mother afterwards, how would he take you to the hospital? And he says, well, he would ride his bicycle, go to the city, rent a car, come back. I mean, now that I'm a gynaecologist, I know it's almost impossible. By the time we ride 30 kilometers, a woman in labor will have delivered.
Thank you, because this doesn't wait. Yeah.
And so that is how I was born at home.
Were you the firstborn?
I'm the firstborn.
Oh, goodness.
I'm the firstborn. So I was born at home in a very rural area. And my name comes from cattle keeping. Rulisa is a Runyankore kind of version of to graze cows. And so that's how I was born, and I grew up.
I want to know if your other siblings, your brothers and sisters, were also born at home.
All of them born at home.
All of them?
All of them born at home.
So much.
Yeah.
That's such a good part.
Born at home, no vaccination, nothing. But we're all healthy.
You know, and we thank God for that. Yeah. And then when time came for you to go to school, how was that?
You know, I went to school by accident. It wasn't intentional. I was meant to be a Herds boy.
All your life?
All my life.
Is it because your parents could not afford to take you to school, or your parents had chosen that?
So my parents had decided to take me to school. And they took me to school. But when I was in primary 2, my father died. And when he died, as a firstborn, as a Herds boy, I mean, our whole wealth depended on cows. I had to stop schooling and take care of the family as a firstborn and own the family. And that was the culture, that was what was supposed. So I left school.
Around how old were you?
12 years. So then I left school, then I took care of my family. I became the head of family, started grazing cows and taking care of my siblings. And that was it. I was the head of family when I was a child of 12 years.
So if you were 12, how many siblings did you have by then?
6.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The whole family has 6.
Yeah.
By the time your father dies, all the 6 of you are there.
Yeah.
You're 12.
Yeah.
Making the youngest how old?
1.
My goodness.
Less than 1, actually.
Less than 1.
Yeah.
And you become the head of the
And
family.
I became the head of
What
the
do
family.
you know about managing a home?
Nothing,
about
but
heading a
I
family?
had to step in there because that was the only option. I mean, I couldn't go to school. I had to come and take care of everything. I don't know how to take care of it, but I just had to be there. We had workers who took care of cows, but I mean, there had to be someone stepping in the shoes of my father, and that was me as the firstborn. So that is how I matured prematurely, if I could say.
You know, that is, my God, that's incredible. You're young. At 12, you're a baby.
Yeah.
I have a nephew who will soon be 12, and I
Yeah.
see him as a child.
Yeah.
He needs to be taken care of. How are you taking care of people? Where are your uncles? Where are the senior, older family members?
Yeah, things happened that way. Everyone was in them for themselves. But what was interesting is that the situation even became worse after few months. I told you I was born in Uganda.
Yes.
And then after a few months, we were then displaced. Our homes were burnt. And so situation became even worse because I had to be a refugee, running with that family and those estate of cows and stuff. And I had to lead now this family out of our home, our farm.
To a new status.
To a new status. So we had to flee. We went towards Tanzania at that time. We were on the move for almost 3 to 4 years, moving up and down.
And when you're moving with your cattle?
We move
because
with
now
our
you're
cattle.
Here. You come
Yes.
from this nomad
Yeah,
family.
yes.
So you're moving with your cattle.
Yes.
And then you go pitch camp in a place.
Yes, in a
feed
place,
the
and
cattle.
tomorrow they find you, and you go another place, and you go on another place.
You know, by the way, like, I was born and raised in a rural setting.
Yeah.
But my situation was not nomadic.
No.
I read about nomads.
Yeah.
I have never had
They are a very
the pleasure of meeting
interesting,
one.
So you see,
And look at you, you're not in a shuka, because I would expect that you look like you know, the Maasais
yeah,
with
exactly,
a shuka.
exactly.
And,
Yeah. So we get to this place, and at that time we don't think of going to school. You think of survival. That's the primary goal, and get survival, first of all, of your family, second of your property, which is cows. All we had was cows. So that is what occupies your mind, to make sure you survive, and that's it. So you've got to learn several survival skills.
this was the 4 years.
Yes.
4 years of your life.
Yes.
So you moved from one place to
Yes,
another.
yes.
Where did you end up settling?
So we moved from that place. We went to Tanzania. We were moving because we were chased by the Obote government in Uganda. We went close to the border with Tanzania. We went inside Tanzania. Tanzania chased us, came back to Uganda, and kept zigzagging for several years. Tsetse fly came, cows died, and several things hit in. And then eventually there was a refugee camp for Rwandans called the Nakivane. So we decided again to turn around and come back to the refugees. So we went to that refugee camp. And when we went in a refugee settlement, land was very small. There was no chance for pastoralism, for moving with cattle. You had nowhere to go, so you had to be stuck in one area. And so that's how we got there. And when we got to Nakivale, I found something strange. Every kid of my age was going to school. I'm like, what do you say we go to school? Everyone goes to school.
Yeah.
So I took my siblings to school. I sent them to school.
And then you stayed home.
I stayed home. I mean, head of families don't go to
They
school.
don't go to school.
They send other people.
They send other people
Yeah.
to school.
So that's how I sent to school. I had learned several skills. Among them was time management that I learned at an early age, because to survive in such a hostile environment, you've got to watch what you do, when and how.
Yeah.
So I had done a bit of it. And so I would wake up very early, do my work. And because our cattle had shrunk to very small numbers, I would do the work I used to do when the cows were many, and then finish early and have nothing to do. And then I found I have leftover time. I didn't know what to do with it. And this is how I started exploring going to school part-time.
Part-time.
Because I would take care of cows, go to school today. Tomorrow, take care of cows, go to school today. I made a deal with my uncle. They said, can we combine our cows since they were small numbers? And you take care today, tomorrow. On my free day, I go to school. So that's how I found myself back to school.
Yeah. How was your performance?
It was very good. So when I came, you know, I stopped when I was starting primary 2. When I came after 4 years, I went to school. Another strange thing is that I went and asked, I want to go to school. It wasn't a common thing for a kid to come and ask for a position. Parents come and ask, I have my kid who come to school. Me, I went myself. I said, I want a position. I said, which year? I look at the age, my age meant they were in primary 5. I said the primary 5. They had no way of
You stopped in P2.
Yeah. Well, they had no way of
verifying
verifying my records. I just said primary 5.
Yeah.
Anyway, if I didn't pass, I would repeat.
Yeah.
So I said, nah, I think I fit in this area where my age meant were approximately. I just started there.
Yeah. And you performed well.
And I performed very well. So I transferred all my energy in cattle keeping into working hard. I mean, I had a lot of leftover time. I worked hard and I did very well.
Where was your mom in all this?
My mom was always with me. Was there at home, yeah.
As you're taking care of cattle, she's taking care of other
yeah,
things.
she's taking
Maybe
care of the
cooking
home
for those that
affairs,
have gone to
yes,
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you realize, you know, because we say in life there are people who survive and thus thrive.
Yeah.
So for you, there was a time when survival was the goal.
Yes, yes.
When did you decide that I have to do more than survive?
When I came to a refugee camp, because at that time I thought there is another way of survival that is outside cattle keeping. I didn't know it existed. I explored education. I didn't know someone survive on education. And so I explored that, but I didn't drop the cattle keeping. So that's when I started, well, maybe try this as we keep this one aside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to keep that.
Yeah.
Fallback plan. And then you ended up doing medicine.
Yes. So
Look at that leap. You know, you're coming from that family head at 12, the P2 guy who found himself in P5, you're working so hard, and then you choose a career that is not for the weak-hearted. How did you end up picking medicine? And today you're among the best.
Yeah, so when we came to a refugee camp, we were all put in a primary school, and they said all the kids under the age of 15 will be vaccinated because we had never been vaccinated. So they massively vaccinated all of us. And we asked, why are we getting this injection? They said, preventing you from having diseases. I said, okay, you can prevent a disease not to happen to someone. I'd never heard of it. And I thought that was a very interesting something. And when I went to school, people started talking about when you do very well in school, you become a doctor or an engineer, or these were the top.
Yeah.
I had no problem working hard. I said, I will do my best. If I have energy, I spend all my energy now. So I said, I want to be a doctor, because they said, if you work hard, you'll be a doctor. I said, well, I like doctors. So people smart in white coats. That's how it came. I said, I would always work hard and be a doctor.
And be a doctor. Had you met a doctor?
No.
Before?
No. Well, I had met a doctor before who helped me when I was sick. And I admired them, and the hospital smelled very well. I said, maybe this is where I want to go, but I didn't know what was inside being a doctor.
Yeah. You know, there are things about life that you mention, which when I was looking at the book, the preview says, the path less traveled is the compelling story of one man's journey of resilience from a nomadic childhood and the hardships of refugee life to becoming a leading voice in medical academia. Orphaned at a young age, Stephen stepped into the role of head of the home, pursued education against all odds, and played an active role in Rwanda's liberation. His path eventually led him to med school and onward to shaping the future of medical education in Rwanda. And in this powerful memoir, Rulisa reflects on the triumphs and trials that shaped his life and worldview. Despite the hardships, I am looking for something here. Having lived across cultures, countries, and social circles, he uncovers what sets people apart, not just talent or opportunity, but the often overlooked forces of thought patterns, time management, and personal responsibility. Talk to us about these three things and when they meant something to you. At what age and what did you start doing about it? Thought patterns, time management, and personal responsibility. I ask this because many of us struggle with these things.
Yeah. You know, when I grew up, when my father died and I took charge of my family, I had to sit with the elders who were the age of my father, because I was the head of the family, so I had access to them as the head of the family.
Yeah.
We had a lot of cows, so I had to sit with them and so on. And I had to hear what they talk, usually. And I saw a lot of people who were successful, people would talk about them. And I had people who were failures in life, and people talk about them. And when I analyzed this afterwards, I found there was a pattern. If you look at someone who is successful, there's a pattern of things they do to be successful. It's not accidental. And when you look at someone who is a failure, there's also a pattern. Actually, you could predict who you want it to become. And if you do a series of things, you become that one.
That thing.
So when you look at any failure and you look back in their history, there's a pattern of several failures. They do things similar to that thing. Part of it is time management. You know, God gave us the most valuable things for free. Like the air we breathe is for free, and time is free. But if you abuse these free things, you get the consequences. And people tend to think there's always time, there's always abundance of time, and so we can afford to ignore it. No, the answer is no. When you lose time, you don't get time back. The lost time is gone completely. And if you use time effectively, you get a result. So cumulatively, if you make use of your time at any point, you get the results, no question. And if you abuse the time now, you get the consequences, which is loss, which is failing. It is as easy as that. So time management is as important as survival. It is that simple. And so when you look at people who are successful, you can see things they do right, and part of them is doing right things right. So when you don't do right things right and you think you will just succeed by accident,
That doesn't happen.
it doesn't happen.
Nothing happens by accident.
Nothing happens by accident. And so I learned that at an early age, because my mother and my grandfather and grandmother used to tell me that all the time. He said, you can't afford to do that. Remember, you're stepping in a big shoe of your father. And so I always learned at a young age that if you don't do the right things the right way, you have consequences. And if you do the right thing the right way, even if no one sees you, you get results. And the results may not be apparent now, but eventually they are results. Every action has a consequence.
Yes.
No question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every choice we make
Yeah.
has a consequence.
And these are the tiny choices we make. Yeah.
Talk to us about now your transition from refugeehood to coming back home.
So we were in, as a refugees, I told you I was born as a refugee. I learned about it when we became refugee for the second time, this time. In 1982, when we were chased away from our farms and our cattle were taken and stuff, is when I realized who I am. Then I knew, oh, we are Rwandans. And they said, oh, Rwandans, go back home. At that time, people who were close to the border with Rwanda came to Rwanda, and the Rwandan government said, you're not Rwandans, you are Ugandan refugees. But Uganda chased them away because they were
Rwandans.
They're Rwandans. So we were stuck between borders. And there's nothing worse you can ever have like that, being homeless and no one accepts you. And so it has to go deep in our mind who we are and why. So going forward, so Museveni take over power, most Rwandans were in his military, and they started now thinking about forming RPF, coming back to Rwanda. We were in school at that time, and we were educated deeply who we are, why we are here, and how we can take ourselves out of this mess we are in, we found ourselves in. And so the RPF movement started, and everyone was engaged, and everyone did whatever they could. And things happened, war started, and coming forward quickly, we had already been shaped by our past, most of our generation, if I could say. And then I came back to Rwanda after genocide. We were told Rwanda is a country of milk and honey, the most beautiful country you can ever have. And that was the story from our parents and everything. So we were all curious to come to the country of milk and honey. Yeah. And then you come to a country shattered by genocide and war.
You don't see the honey, you don't see the milk.
Nothing. You see a broken country, but you still have that happiness that you're back home. Home is home, however it is, and everyone starts putting everything together and working to survive, but also looking for a great future. And that is how I found myself here.
Yeah.
And started working, putting together everything.
Now you're part of the people that have to rebuild the country.
Have to rebuild the country with whatever we had.
Yes.
But at the back of my mind, I still had an completed mission, which was being educated, becoming a doctor. So put together everything.
What were you studying back there before you said?
I had just finished high school.
Oh, okay.
I finished high school and then got involved in all these activities to
so there was that
to come back.
Slight interruption.
Yeah. Then we came here and then put it together, whatever was left. And then institutions started working, and I said I want to go to university.
You still wanted to become a doctor?
I still wanted to become a doctor, and I asked who was my boss at that time. I said, he said, you want to be a doctor? At that time, there were a lot of opportunities in this country. You know, everyone who could read and write could have some job somewhere. Yes. And so dropping everything and going to school was another risk-taking. And then doing medicine, are you going to spend 6 years as a student, an adult, who could start making money right now? I said, yeah, I want to give it a shot. And that's how I went to medical school. Oh, my God. Yeah. And you love it? I love it. Something you enjoy at least the investment I put in my education paid back. Yeah.
What's the most memorable thing when you think about your career as a medical practitioner?
Is saving lives. Saving lives. When I became a gynecologist, even before I became a gynecologist, is seeing a mother who would come in a critical condition with a baby, all of them almost dying, and you see them after a few days, whether you operate on them or deliver a baby and give medication, and you see the mother and the baby smiling after a few days. Yeah. When you put a smile on someone's face, is the most rewarding thing you can do.
You know, I have the ultimate respect for doctors. We people in the media end up being very popular, famous. People see you and they recognize you on the bus, on a motor. Doctors do amazing things. You save lives, but we rarely meet you on the streets and recognize you. Yet you do.
But we have this pressure of knowing inside you that you made a difference to someone's life.
I can
imagine. It's the biggest happiness you can ever have in your life.
I can imagine. Yeah. We're going to take a short break. Then when we come back, I want us to delve deeper into the book. This is something personal, something that you've gifted the world, so I'd love for us to have a look at it. My name is Jackie, and our guest is Dr. Stephen Rulisa, a nomad turned medical doctor. In the book, he says, you'll sit on the cover from cattle fields to operating rooms. Thank you for joining us on The Real Talk. In case you have a question or a comment, please use the hashtag The Real Talk anywhere on social media, and we will find it. We are live on RTV and on our official RTV YouTube channel. Looking forward to hearing from you. We're taking a break. We will be back in a bit. Welcome back to The Real Talk. Glad to have you here with us, and please share the YouTube link so that we have others join the conversation. My guest is Dr. Stephen. We have talked about his childhood, picked on some memories from back then. He became the head of a home at a very early age. We've also talked about the difference between surviving and growing, a realization that occurred to him at a very young age. He's touched on the importance of thought patterns, time management, personal responsibility. We haven't exhausted that, but we're going to look at it. Now I want us to have a look at the book. Talk to us about the inspiration behind this book. What exactly pushed you to write it?
You know, like I told you, I would say I am just blessed. I had the opportunity to travel the world, almost all of the continents in the world. I met different people, I met different cultures, and I saw different things in this world. And then I always find a pattern of that shape people. And I always see why different people behave differently and the ultimate outcomes from that. I also gauge it from myself. So I always want to become a better me than I was yesterday. But as I aspire, I see a lot of challenges. And so people ask me questions. Why do you think the way you think? Why do you do things the way you do?
You look like a very principled, disciplined man.
I always, if I know something has to be done, I do my best to do it. If I know this is the right thing to do, I always do my best.
You don't find excuses not to do it, not to do it well?
No. I fight all the excuses. I know excuses don't yield results. Actions do. Excuses never give results. You may have 1 million of excuses. If you don't have results, you don't have results. And I learned that at an early age. Well, I failed, of course, I failed several times and things, but I never take that as an excuse. I wake up and
dust yourself.
Do. And so, but then people see you at a certain stage and say, hey, you were lucky, or you got this, or several excuses. Yeah. I told you I don't like excuses, of course. Then I said, maybe I have to put down a story that shaped me to become who I am today. It is a series of several events, and all these are actionable. To me, action is the key. You've got to do stuff. Things don't just happen. You've got to do the right things at the right time. You can't postpone what to be done today, and if you do it tomorrow, you say, I did it. No. You missed it. You should have done it yesterday, because today also there's something to be done now. So time is one gift God gave us all, and we have to do what we have to do now.
These things that you talk about, they could seem common sense.
Yeah.
But then some of us have it, others don't have it. Were you born that way? Would you say you were born that way, or are these attributes that you worked on? No,
there's nothing like born that way. I had to work.
You had to work.
I had to work on the things. I told you, from my childhood, I had no room for compromise. I had no room for failure. Every minor failure had the consequences. And if I failed, the cost was huge. The cost was taking away my whole family. So I could not afford to fail. I could not afford to just play around and just play around and mess up with time and say I will do it tomorrow.
You didn't have
I had no luxury to do that.
You didn't have the luxury to do
it. Yeah. So I had to work on myself. I am still work in progress. Even now, I have things I'm working on. So I had no luxury of I will do it tomorrow, or I can mess up things and tomorrow I will fix them, or someone will fix them for me. You know, no one is responsible to fix stuff for me. I've got to fix stuff for myself. And so action is the key, and the result is the outcome.
Yeah. And when you're doing these things, were you hoping that your younger siblings would watch you, observe and learn, and do the same? Or for you, it didn't matter if anyone emulates you, you just wanted to be straight and that's it?
No, I was working just for myself.
Okay.
I didn't think, well, I'm doing this so someone can see me or can emulate.
It didn't matter.
This is what I have to do, and I have to do it. It didn't matter whether they emulated me or not, even up to now, I don't know.
Beautiful. You know, I'm looking through the book. First, I love the bookmarks.
Yeah.
I love your bookmarks very much. It's got the cover of the book and the messages.
Yeah.
By and large, the world around me did not change much, but I got to know it better, and I also changed along the way. That's a quote you've picked from page 81.
Yeah.
And there's another bookmark that has, if something has to be done, the best time to do it is now. That's a quote picked from page 100. This book is beautiful. I love the quality. The cover, hardcover, beautiful. The paper quality, fantastic. And then the pictures.
Yeah.
I love the way you selected the pictures, the choice. You take us to 91. Then there's 1992, when you're in high school. At least I've seen a picture of you in a shuka.
Yeah.
That was taken in 91.
Yeah.
You and your friends in your civil wedding
Yeah.
in 1998. How old were you when you got married?
28.
28?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like you rushed it.
But I told
Still,
you,
the
something
time
has
thing,
to be done, the right time is to do now. I mean, I thought, will I ever get married? The answer was yes, then do it now.
Then do it now.
There were no other factors to look, or get money or get something. No, I mean, will you ever get money? Then why not now?
But did you do a bit of preparation? Even if you don't have a lot of money,
Well,
how did you prepare yourself for marriage at least?
I got a beautiful girl who I convinced to like me and agreed to get married. And
You had built a house where you're going to
No, forget about it. I mean,
Had you prepared yourself for fatherhood?
Yeah, well, I had prepared before because I told you I took care of my siblings, so I think...
You were ready.
But I also said I will learn as I go. I mean,
You who doesn't leave anything to chance, you decided you learn as you go.
Yeah.
You have you come from a big family. I can see you with your mother, her children and grandchildren. And then I see Didas. He's my friend.
Brother,
And that's your brother. Yes. Fantastic. We have you training in Zimbabwe, pictures with a lot of big people.
Yeah.
I see you with the president of Zanzibar, you with former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, discussion with Minister for Health, Zanzibar, and you've been around the world.
Yes.
Traveled, carried the Rwandan flag and flown it in many different places. I see you in South Africa, you're invited for the Society of Obstetrics and Gynecology. You know, if you ever land on this book, just go to the pictures, the pictorial. My God, that page. How do you call the page with pictures in a book? Picture memories.
Yeah, I think so.
We've named it Picture Memories. I see you in Paris after being confirmed chair of scientific program for FIGO.
Yeah.
I want to pick page 151, chapter 7. And chapter 7 says, what influences life outcomes? The way we think and what we believe significantly shape our actions, choices, and eventually our overall identity, hence creating the person we become. Our life philosophy is very important in determining who we eventually become, and this may be shaped by several factors. Being open-minded is essential for growth, and after all, we don't know what we don't know. And it's this awareness that opens the door to learning and ultimately the possibility of change. Life outcomes are influenced by many factors, most of which are invisible and difficult to measure. When we become more intentional with how we use these, especially by, you say you believe significantly, let me go back. Life outcomes are influenced by many factors, most of which are invisible and difficult to measure. These are the silent determinants, simple, practical actions that are often overlooked, precisely because they seem too easy to make a difference. Yet their simplicity is what makes them powerful when applied consistently. 3 key factors I believe significantly shape our lives are time, attention, and resources. What we do with these influences how we become. How many kids do you have?
4.
How many grandchildren?
2.
2. Talk to us about this chapter, because you also talk about myself. I'm often told by family members, colleagues, and friends that I think and operate a bit differently. And this is not accidental. No. From these minutes that I've spent with you, it's very intentional.
Yeah. Everything is intentional. Yeah. You intend to become who you wanted to become. And you need to be aware of who you wanted to become and work towards it.
When you look at the chapter 7, talk to me tell us why chapter 7 is important to you. And for somebody who's watching, they're young and they're trying to figure their life out. They're trying to find themselves. Where do you start with that?
You start from where you are. You start from where you are. That's the simple thing. And you've got to do the right things the right way, like I said from the beginning. Some of the things you have to do right is time management. If you know what to do, you know how to do it, or you know partially how to do it, just go out and do it. I said from the beginning, action is the key. You know, before, when we were young, we were told education is the key. You go to school, you graduate from a university, and everything is done. You're successful.
That's a lie.
That's a lie, exactly. You got it.
Yeah.
And so people go to
education,
school.
you've got to follow that with other things.
We have seen failures who graduated from a university.
Yes.
And we've got successful people who've never gone to school.
Absolutely.
So these are the invisible things I'm talking about. When you go outside here in town, any random, go in a tax park or anywhere in the market and ask people, successful people and failures, you will find everything common to everyone. It's not education that determines who become the richest. Or it's not your parents who are very rich that will make you rich. It's not your parents who are very poor that make you poor.
It's not even the location,
It's
the
not even
environment,
location
where I
you were
live.
born. I recently met a group of Rwandans when I went to the US, and people said, oh, we went here for greener pastures. And I said, are you successful now? They said, no. So I said, being successful has nothing to do with location. It has something to do with who you are. And so then I learned that there are these invisible factors that determine who you become. And some of them, you've got to intentionally do it. Partly is time management. Do you know what to do? Go out and do it right now. And so these are the things I observed over time. I observed people who succeed everywhere, in any sector, business, military, science, academia, medical. It's nothing to do. I mean, the best doctors we have, this is the field I know better on in academia. I know the people who are at the top of their range in primary school, like I was on top of my class. No, these are the people who worked hard, intentionally worked hard, and got results. When you see people who are successful in business, in the military, these are people who intentionally do the right things. And so it's not magic. There are pattern of things that once you do them, you get results, no question.
You know, I have a friend, Dr. Joseph Rulisa, you must
Yes.
know him. And he talks about time management.
Yeah.
He talks about it. When you look at us, you know, you and I had an appointment, we had a specific time, and you beat me to it. You were there 20 minutes before the time that we had agreed. And I asked, is this what you do? And you said, yes, to you it comes naturally.
Yeah.
When you interact with us, myself, a lot of the young people that you supervise, people at your level, do you think we take time seriously?
No. I mean, you've got someone who come to work and say, today I'm late because it was raining, or my car broke down, or there was a lot of traffic, or anything. I mean, you can afford to have 365 excuses throughout the year why you don't do things the right way.
If you choose that path.
If you choose that path. At the end of the day, I tell you, you may have a heap of excuses, but at the end of the day, results matters. What matters is results. So you've got to intentionally do the right thing. And this requires effort. It's not a random thing that I woke up and they said at 9 and I will start my journey at 9 and be there at 9. No way. Things happen. Something unpredictable happen. If you know there is a risk of having traffic or something, then wake up early. Start the journey early. I mean, you've got to do something. You've got to use your brain. You've got to apply actions. So these things are intentional. People who succeed, no one succeeds by accident. No question. No one succeeds by accident.
You know, thanks for pointing that out. Sometimes we say people succeed because they were born to fathers and mothers that had resources, things. Others succeed because they went to the Ivy League universities. But you're pointing out that
It doesn't work.
Somebody could even go to Harvard, but if they don't do these things consistently, they will not succeed.
One of the things I tell these people, young people, is that if you come to big cities like Kigali now is a big city, and you say, oh yeah, well, me, I won't be successful, I can't go there because my parents come from wherever,
a village,
they were poor in a village, we are poor family, I tell them, your background does not determine who you become. Your wealth of your family does not determine who you become. You determine who you become. We don't have anyone here who say, I mean, if you ask all the rich people, how many of them say, I got this because it was handed over from my family? No. It's an effort you do. So the young people who are just coming out and saying, well, I don't know where to begin because I didn't go to that big school or that big university, or I don't come from a wealth family, or this is false.
Self-pity. And you're totally against self-pity.
I am against it.
You say one's background does not limit success.
Exactly. I sit now with people who come from a totally complete different background. And we can chat and we can talk.
The same guy who was running after cattle.
Yes, I was behind cattle, and my cattle keeping did not limit me from becoming a professor, from becoming a medical doctor, from becoming who I am. So my past does not limit my present. Wow. And has nothing to do with my future. The way I think determines who I become.
Yeah. You say that success is built one decision at a time.
Yes.
Do you have, from a real life experience, a decision that you look at? It doesn't matter how many years back, you look at that decision and say, this is the reason for my success.
Yes, many things.
Okay, share with us.
Well, I can tell you.
Few.
I can tell you one simple example. When I got a job for the first time, I got a job, I think I remember I was earning 80,000 Rwandan francs. And so afterwards, I was married, I had a family, so we wouldn't even finish the whole money. But then, before I got to this 80,000, I had nothing and I still survived. So I decided since then, I will save 20% of my salary, no matter what. Because I have even lived below, that means, and I succeeded. So as my salary kept going up, I kept constantly saving 20%.
And your 20% also kept increasing.
Kept increasing.
Yes.
And so I achieved, when I look back, for example, my first house that I got, things came, they said, if you have, it was a mortgage, they said, you need to have 20% of down payment, and then the bank can give you this money. I didn't know why I saved. I just said, I have to save it. And they gave us a window of 1 week. If I had not saved consistently over time, I couldn't have raised these 20%, the 10% down payment. It was a cumulative of several years.
True.
And it made me access a home that I could not have otherwise got.
Yeah.
The amount I saved, you could go in a bar or in a coffee shop and spend it in one evening. I decided to save it consistently. I achieved something way bigger than the small actions I did. And so this is why I said the small actions you do are the ones that determine the big things you get.
That's true. There's something I say on the show quite a lot. I picked it from, I don't know which philosopher back then. People don't get lucky, they get prepared. Yeah. Opportunity meets preparedness. So here you are, you had been saving, and then there's an opportunity to get a mortgage. You were given a 1 week window.
Yeah.
If you had not saved prior,
too late.
There's no way, you're going to be late. But you seized this moment, this opportunity meant something to you. You converted into something because you had consistently saved. And
you know what people would say when you get it? You say, oh yeah, that opportunity, people were lucky.
They say it. They say
you're lucky. So when they see you having achieved that, they say you were lucky.
Yes.
No, you were prepared. You
were prepared.
The right things before, the right way. And then when opportunity comes, you're ready.
You know, sometimes we see someone and you say, that man is wealthy. He's only a teacher. He's a mere teacher. Where did he get money to build a house like that?
Exactly.
Where did he steal it from?
Yeah.
We label these people
Yeah.
all sorts of
Yeah.
things. But this person could be a teacher who's been saving that 20%
Yes.
of their little salary. This could be a teacher who has invested in something else. Because there are also things that go on in people's lives in the background, things we don't see.
You know, people who have all this time to judge and talk about others are people who ignore the disciplines they had to do. They are small disciplines that make people who they become. And because these are invisible, these are the ones I'm talking about. Yeah. When you ignore these small disciplines of saving or not drinking or
time
not
management.
spending time management, you ignore them and you think they don't matter. The answer is they matter big time.
Yes.
And so when they see people who achieve them because of their consistent disciplines, they think they are lucky.
They think this happened overnight.
Yeah. You think, oh, well, he was lucky, this happened just because by accident. No.
Or maybe because the system, he knows the people in the system.
Oh, yeah, he knows his uncle is
his
a
uncle
guy,
is so-and-so, general so-and-so. We like to say that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just to soothe your ego. Yeah. Your ego telling you, you failed, he achieved it, you could have achieved it, you come from same background, same school, same grade. If he achieved it, instead of saying, hey, how can I do it? You brand it. Oh, yeah, he was lucky, or his uncle promoted him, or whichever, and something. We call it names so that our egos can feel we didn't fail. We're just unlucky. So you just want to make your ego feel happy that you're not a failure, but those who succeeded were just lucky.
They just worked, you know? Yes, you're thinking they were lucky, yet the difference between you and them was that they worked. There's a young Rwandan who's going to pick this book and read it from beginning to the end. What message do you hope they carry with them thereafter? That
your past or your path, or the current challenges do not determine who you become. They do not determine your future. Your disciplines, your actions, consistent actions determine who you become. You can achieve literally anything, any status you want to become if you work on it. Spend some time, be prepared, think about who you want to become, and one step after the other in the right direction will yield positive results.
Is there a time limit to this? I might be thinking I'm in my 40s, I have run out of time.
You might
Is there
be
something
60.
like that?
We've known people who became successful after their retirement. There is no time limit. Any time you can start. Yeah. You can change whatever is holding you back and achieve whatever you want to become. Yeah. I am a living testimony. I came from cattle keeping. I came from, a humble background. I became a doctor, and many people would say, well, you can't become a doctor when you didn't have a doctor in your family or something to mentor you, to tell you what they do. You can mentor yourself into something as long as you work towards it in the right direction. Yeah.
You know, then where do we find the book?
The book is available at Charisma. It is available at the airport in a bookshop. And it's also available. There are numbers you can call and deliver you if you are in Kigali.
What's that number?
There's a number written on
the book.
You can share on the social media.
Oh yes, we'll share that on the social media because I want you to have a copy of this book.
Yeah.
Yes, I need you to read it. When you look back at your life, what are you most proud of?
That I survived.
That you survived. Survived what?
And thrived.
Because, you know, when I look at you, I feel like the survival happened like in your early 10s, 10, 12, 13. Yes. Then from 17 onwards, you were thriving. I would look at it that way.
You know, you may say so because I never had the time to think that I have arrived where you wanted to arrive or something. And I never even had that limit or target. I am always busy improving myself. Even now, I'm still work in progress, like I said. I have small disciplines that I have to work on, always improving, always improving. But what makes me proud is that some of the smallest disciplines paid big rewards in my life.
Wow.
And so part of it is what I talk in that book, the part I called emotional intelligence. These are small, minute disciplines that people tend to ignore. Things like time management, things like waking up early, things like taking care of your health, And people tell you, you don't drink too much coffee. And they're like, well, we'll see what happened. Things that don't have immediate consequences, people tend to ignore them because you don't see results up immediately. But they have one of the longest consequences. And so I try to put down some of the small things that yield large results over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Stephen, it's been a great honor sitting down with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From this conversation, I have learned, and you know, time management, I personally struggle with it. None of us is perfect, but I am trying my best to be there on time. Lately, I will assure you, I am doing much better than I did 5-10 years ago. And I will keep working at it. I also love the fact that you've said there's no time limit. I could be in my 40s, but it does not mean that I am done changing my life.
You can change.
I could take a decision today, start working towards it, and when I hit 70, when I hit 80, I will see those results.
I said success is every decision at a time.
That is it. If somebody is watching and they choose to forget everything that you have said today, what is it you don't want them to forget? Earlier on you spoke to the young people, but now just speak generally. That message, that thing that you do not want them to forget from this conversation.
That do not be held back by your past, thinking you cannot have a better future. You're
emphasizing on that.
Yes.
Don't use your past as an excuse.
No. You can decide now and have a better future than you have now.
I love it. Every one of us has a past. Every one of us has that place where we come from. But what Stephen is telling us is that should not determine your future. That should not limit your success. Your past is only that thing that you climb on to take you to the place that you want to go. And it's upon you. It's upon you to decide what you want to become and start working towards it. I've really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for making time to teach us.
Thank you.
Today I was a student and I've learned so much. Thank you. I look forward to you coming back on the show.
Sure.
This is only the
beginning.
Happy
to. Thank you. Thank you very much.
My name is Jackie Lumbasi. It has been a great pleasure having this conversation with Dr. Stephen Rulisa. On my different social media pages, I'll share with you the phone number so that you can access this book, The Path Less Traveled, From Cattle Fields to Operating Rooms, a man that has done so much with himself. After watching this conversation, you might be thinking, oh, well. I don't want you to say, well. I want you to pick those nuggets. I want you to pick that message that will transform your life from now on. There's no reason for us to remain on the ground when we can actually pick ourselves up, walk, and thrive. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. You take care of yourself. God bless you.